where Evan was helping her. Right now, just imagine risking everything from another country, coming to this country to make a dream a reality.
We are who we say we are. We are not average. We were born to be great. That's right. One and only Jose Alonso has a podcast. One Day You'll See podcast. Hello and welcome to the One Day You'll See podcast. This is your host, Jose Alonso, coming to you to inspire you to become more by discussing different topics, ideas, goals, and stories. And we appreciate you for tuning in. Now, in today's episode, we're going to talk about the second part of the success stories. If you haven't checked out the first part, go ahead and do so. Listen to my last podcast, watch it. You'll learn a lot because we talked about a few great people that we talked about. That was Cristiano Ronaldo, Bad Bunny, just to name a few, right? But today's topic, it's episode 2. We're going to inspire you by talking about these 3 great people that I've studied and I continue to study. Number 1, we're going to talk about Dwayne Johnson. Number 2, we're going to talk about Rihanna. And number 3, we're going to go ahead and talk about Kobe Bryant, right? So go ahead and grab some pen and paper. If you don't have anything, you might learn something because these are really inspirational stories on how they grew up to how they are now, right? They're the success story that they came up with. And the first person we're going to go ahead and get started with is Dwayne Johnson, right? So Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock, right? So Dwayne Johnson, the way he grew up in high school, he was actually a punk, right? So he was actually a bad boy, which a lot of people don't really know about it. So he would punk on a lot of people, make fun of people, and things like of that nature. But one day, the coach of the high school football team, what he did, he invited Dwayne Johnson to play for the school football team. Now, Dwayne Johnson was a little iffy at first, but he said, you know what, sports seems pretty cool. Let's give it a try. So he went out, he tried out for the team, he made it to the team, and he continued to play for the sport. He loved the sport so much that after high school, he went to strive and pursue to becoming a professional football player. So he was playing for the Miami Hurricanes in 1991. But what happened is that he got hurt. So that was a struggle in his life. He got hurt, but he didn't let that stop him. So what he did, he moved over to Canada, played for a Canadian team in the Canadian League to be a backup linebacker. But what happened is that he actually got cut from the team. So his NFL career dream was over. So what happened, he went back to his dad because his dad was a professional wrestler. So he went to his dad and he asked him if he can train him to become a professional wrestler. So his dad didn't accept that at first because he didn't like what he was doing, didn't have success or anything like that. But his dad actually made a decision and he actually said, you know what, let's train it and let it make you into a great person. So he did. He trained Dwayne Johnson to becoming who he is in the WWE or WWF at that time, right, for wrestling. And Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock, he was winning titles. He was getting respect from other wrestlers. He was getting a lot of audience. But there was a point of his life that where he started to lose audience and lose respect of other people because he wasn't the person that he thought he was. So what he did, he started to lose his audience and he went back to the drawing board to actually work on himself, find out what he was missing, find out his uniqueness on how he can get his audience back. So that's what he did. It took some time for him to work on himself. He promoted himself again as the new The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. He started getting a lot of audience again, a lot of respect, and a lot of people loved his charisma when he would come out in TV. That charisma gave him an opportunity to come out in a movie called the Scorpion King in 2002 as a leading actor, right? So he was a leading actor in that movie, and it was a great movie, a successful movie, and that opened more doors for him to come out in more TV shows and in more movies. He worked, and he made a big deal in Fast Five. Fast Five was a big deal for him and a big deal for the company. Great movie, great success that it had. Worked. 2014 made another movie called Hercules, where he would go to the gym at 4 a.m. because he started to work out on his body, he's working on the temple, making his body, his physique a lot better for the movie, right? Waking up at 4 a.m. That's how determined he was, eating right and everything because he is a big guy, right? So he worked on that movie Hercules, very successful. And he worked on to becoming, learning about the business world. And in the business world, he learned about producing, and he produced his first his first show called Ballers, which is a great show that I would recommend you see it. Right now that the success that he has is that now he's a great father. He has a lot of successful movies, a lot of successful shows. He's a producer for that show. He's an author because he wrote a book, and he just continues leaving a legacy for his family, learning new things about business and things like that. So that's what success that he has. That's Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock. The second person we're going to talk about is Rihanna, and Rihanna is actually very successful, especially in her story. Her story comes that she comes from Barbados, another country. The way she grew up is that her father was actually a cocaine addict and an alcohol addict. Now, just imagine what she had to go through as a young lady to watch her dad go through that. Not only that, when she was 14 years old, her parents got split up from each other. So at a young age, she did not have both of her parents. So it was very difficult for her to understand as a young lady, right? But what happened is that she also had a crippling headache problem. So she would get major headaches that it would hurt her, but she would not show it to her friends or her families or anybody around her because she didn't want anybody to know that something was wrong with her, right? So she would hide that pain. So what happened is that she was going to school, and in high school she actually won her high school beauty contest without any makeup, right? So natural beauty was what had her have her win. And the reason she didn't wear makeup either is because her mom didn't allow her to wear any makeup, which is why natural beauty was on there. So she worked. She liked singing, so she actually met a person called Evan that would help her in her music career. So what she did, she left Barbados. She risked everything to go to the United States in the state of Connecticut, where Evan was helping her. Right now, just imagine risking everything from another country, coming to this country to make a dream a reality, working with a stranger, somebody that you did not know, right? Because in life, the biggest risk you can take is no risk at all, right? So she actually risked everything to get everything that she wanted for her and her family. She worked. Evan gave her an audition with Jay-Z, the CEO of Def Jam. Jay-Z loved what he saw, loved what he heard, so he signed her into a six album record deal, right? Huge deal that Jay-Z made with Rihanna. She worked. She performed. She made a lot of music. She performed in different shows. Started to have some success, right? Has started to get a lot of awards like a Grammy and a lot of other awards, right? So she worked, and now her success is that she actually has broken 5 Guinness World Records on her career, and she also has a a Fendi line, a Fendi brand that's lingerie, beauty, shoes, clothes. She just finished her book, so now she's an author as well. So coming from a small country called Barbados all the way to the United States and seeing the success from how she grew up as a young lady to the success she has now. So shout out to Rihanna. The third person we're going to talk about is none other than Kobe Bryant, right? Rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. So Kobe Bryant was the greatest in history, right? Unfortunately, of what happened to him, but the way he grew up is that he actually made a decision when he was 3 years old. When he was 3 years old, he started playing basketball, and he made a decision that that's what he wanted to do, right? When he grew up. Now, a fun fact, how the way he got his name is that his parents will go to this Japanese restaurant, and there was a famous beef called Kobe, and that his parents loved so much, and because the parents loved that beef so much, Kobe, they named his son Kobe, now known as Kobe Bryant, right? So that's a pretty fun fact to have. Now, as he was growing up as well, he moved over to Italy when he was only 6 years old. Now, just imagine moving to another country, a language you do not speak at a very young age, right? Like starting fresh again, starting from brand new. But what he was doing is that every summer he will come over to the United States to summer league so he could continue playing basketball to becoming the best, and he continued his reputation. So one day what happened is that he actually got drafted to the NBA at 17 years old, the youngest player in history to become a starter, right? But what happened, he actually got drafted from the Charlotte Hornets, right? Before moving to Los Angeles Lakers, right? So first he got drafted from the Charlotte Hornets, and in a short period of time, he got drafted to Los Angeles Lakers, and it was history ever since. At 17 years old, made a lot of history. He was the youngest player to win the NBA dunk contest, right, in the All-Star weekend. A lot of awards. He worked with people like Shaquille O'Neal in 2003. He won back-to-back championships, right? Became a champion. When he was 21 years old, he met Vanessa, right? He met Vanessa, and then soon after that, they actually got married. But then a struggle came along. The struggle was that Kobe Bryant's family, his parents, did not accept Vanessa because she was not African American, right? So that was a struggle that they had to overcome. But what happened over time when Kobe and Vanessa had their first child, which was they actually the parents they actually shifted their mind and they forgot about the negativity and everything and apologized and things got better because of the first daughter that they had, right? So move on forward. He did have a lot of struggles. He had a lot of successes. He overcome those successes because of his reputation that he lost because of the sexual assault that he had back in 2003. Very, very bad time he had. He was going down his sponsors. He was losing his deals, losing money, losing fame and everything. So he had to start from scratch. And that's what he did. He worked on himself. But, things kept catching on. 2011, he was about to get divorced with Vanessa. They tried to work it out. 2013, they decided not to file for divorce and just work it out. And from 2013 and on, they actually worked it out together, and now they were one big family, happy family, successful family. Until the tragedy that happened here in 2020 that Kobe Bryant had and passed away, as well as other people. So rest in peace to Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest, and as well as his family, his daughter, and other people that were in that accident. But that's what he had. Success that he had was that he actually, created a legacy not only in his family, not only in the city, but all around the world. He made an impact. His Mamba mentality, his shoes, Kobe shoes, his Kobe brand, his Mamba brand, his movements, his programs that he had, just impacting the cities and all around the world. The legacy that will continue far out. So that's Kobe Bryant for you, and rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. So we talked about the three people. The first person was Dwayne Johnson, how he went from being a punk to a very successful businessman. Rihanna, how she went from living in a small country, Barbados, now to the success that she has now as a musician, artist, as well as a fashion queen. And the third person was Kobe Bryant, how he grew up in a very young age and become one of the greatest basketball players in history, as well as a businessman, and as well as inspiration to the whole world. So, guys, I hope you got inspired. I hope you got some information, some value to this. We always have to study the great to become great and be better and make an impact in this world. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. It means a lot to us. Go ahead and don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share this podcast, and to bring you guys more value and more content. So I appreciate you for tuning in. Thank you so much. And I'll see you guys till next time. Have a good one and take care. Peace.